Hello there, this is a new video about something I promised I would do, and I have got some questions when I'm gonna do it, so I think I'm gonna do it right now. And that's when I did my unboxing video on my latest GoPro. I talked about my shinies, versions of my action cams, and I happened to say that they were good. So they are really affordable, and I recommend those cameras. I can do a review of that camera, one of them, at some point, because I have a lot to say about them, and I can even do a side-by-side comparison to a GoPro, either the 12 or the 13. I have both, and really show what they can do and how good they are, at least for what I'm doing. And then you can do your own assessment out of that, maybe. Today we're gonna find out if they are any good. And what I'm talking about here are these cameras. I have two of these. They are pretty much the same. They have no actual brand name. They have a lot of features. They come with a lot of different brackets and things. They are 5K. And they are stabilized. Well, let's start with opening the package here. Of course, this is not an unboxing because this is a used camera. But I can read on the back here, the video resolution is 5K, as I said. It has a 2-inch back screen. It can take photos up to 12 megapixels. It has Wi-Fi. It has a lot of different languages. It has slow motion. It has time-lapse, photographic loops and recordings and things. It has power saving function. It has an electric image stabilizer 6-axis. It has a 3.7 volt 900 milliamp battery. Actually, it's a 1050 amp battery, sorry. And it's waterproof down to 30 meters. And that's a lot, because this camera is only waterproof in this housing. If you take it out of the housing, like I'm gonna do now, like this, it's not waterproof at all, because it's open here, and it's open there, and it's open there. So there's a lot of openings on it. It might be a little bit splash proof, but it's in no way or sense waterproof. You need one of these. But luckily, these come in the package. You don't need to buy these separately. This is a original part that comes with your camera in the package. And it's a simple waterproof case with a latch on the back. You put the camera in. You can also use these for protection for the camera, because the bad thing with these, if you use these for waterproofing as is now, and you put the camera in here, you have practically no sound at all. It doesn't let any sound in. The microphone is on the camera and it's all covered with this, so no sound actually enters this box into the camera. But there is another latch you get with this. I don't have that latch, but I have another camera here that has that latch on it. You see there are slots here on the back side. One slot there and one slot there. That lets a little bit of sound in, but the problem with this is that the mic isn't in the back. The mic is actually on the front here, so it's still doesn't give full sound in any way, but you get some sound through these slots here. So, and it's easy to change out. You can, this is just clipped on here. You just pull it off, put the new one on, and then you have the slots, and then you can have sound. And you can use it for dust protection, or you can use it as a protection case for your camera. And since it's included, I can't really complain. It's good that it's included, but it's not really useful, I think. But there is another attachment, and it's this attachment. This is pretty much just a holder for the camera that you put your camera in, so you get the GoPro fastening device in the bottom there that you can put on different attachment like that. And this is very, very, very useful. So that's a good thing, and you get a lot of these different kind of fastening devices. There are multiple of them. Parts were included. That was included. That was included. This was included. This was included. And there were these adhesive things included, and bicycle mount or handlebar mount, and even a belt mount. So there's a lot of things included when it comes to different mounts with these when you buy them. And now we are going to talk about the most interesting thing here, and that's pricing. I gave, for this camera, with all the included mounts and cases and things, it cost me $70. And it's a 5K camera, and it gives a really good picture. The one thing I can complain with on this camera is the sound. The sound isn't as good as on a GoPro, of course, but it's still good, but it's not as good. So you will, if you use these cameras, you will find that it lacks a little bit in sound quality and sound volume. But usually you can correct those things in editing. Also, when you compare the picture is not as colorful as with a GoPro, but that's not expected, and that's also something you can adjust in the editing, so you can get them pretty much looking the same. With that said, I want to tell you that I use these cameras. This is not something I bought and then bought GoPros and stopped using these, because I think these are really good cameras, so I use them. But what I use them for is I use them when the camera is at risk, close to spinning things, hanging outside vehicles, things like that. When I weld, when I grind, because I don't want to risk destroying my GoPros. So instead I use these cameras, because as I said, I gave $70 for this. The camera I'm recording with now is my GoPro 12. That cost me $350. So I could actually get 5-6 of these for the same price. If these get crushed, if this get scratched, or even if it burns up, I don't care. I just buy one new, $70, and I have a new one, and I have another set of these attachments and things that I can use with my GoPros also. So it's good value for the money, and it's really good value since the cameras are so good as they are. Of course, these are not GoPros, not in any way, not in weight, not in size. They are smaller than GoPros. Some people wouldn't even make that argument for buying them rather than GoPros, because they are lighter. They are much lighter than GoPros. They are much smaller than GoPros. So actually, it's a good argument if you want a small and light camera that still shoots 5K. This is the perfect camera. And if you're gonna have a GoPro on your helmet, you will feel it, because they are pretty heavy. This one could actually, you could actually have this on your helmet with perhaps with even not noticing it being there. I don't know, but I have not tried. But it's very, very light, but it's still capable. It's very capable. I want to come to that a little bit later. As I said, they are cheap, much cheaper than GoPros, and they still do a pretty good job. I wouldn't trade them for my GoPros, not in any way, but I still use them as a complement to my GoPros. And if I didn't have any budget at all and didn't have the money to buy GoPros, I would be satisfied with these, definitely. They are good enough to make videos with. But the GoPro material looks good directly as it comes. These I have to put some filters on and adjust the sound and things like that to make them sound and look as good as the GoPro. But you can do that. But it's hard if you don't have a GoPro to compare with. But when you have the GoPro footage side by side, you can adjust the footage that you get out of these to look pretty much similar with the GoPro footage. So enough of that. Let's go into the next part here. Let's start this camera up. You have a welcome screen when you start it up like this. And this camera has two screens, as you see. It has a front screen and a back screen. And as you can see, they don't go on at the same time. You need to press a button like that, and then it switches to the front. If I want to go back to this, I need to push this button, and it will turn off the front screen, and it will go back to the back screen again. And one more thing, the front screen has no touch screen. It's only a screen. So you need to use the buttons when you use the front screen. But the back screen here actually has touch screen, which you can easily access menus and things like that. And you have up to 5K and 30 frames, and you have 4K 60 frames, and you have 4K and 30 frames. That's what I use usually. And then you have down to pretty much 720 30 frames. Yeah, you have a lot of different kind of options. I won't go through them, it takes so long. When looking at the camera, it's pretty well built. It's sturdy. It's smaller than the GoPro, as I said, both in thickness and in size like that. Unfortunately also the sensor is a bit smaller, but that's another thing. This back screen here has not the best resolution, so it's not really showing what the camera actually sees. You're not getting 4K resolution on this screen here when you're looking at it, and the details are not as detailed. But when you put it up in editing and look on it on a bigger screen, it will look very good. But right on the camera, it won't look so good. So you have to have that in mind, that it won't look as it looks on the screen you have in the camera. Also, when playbacking, if you record something and you want to playback it, you have only this small speaker here. So there is not much of a sound coming from it when you play back things you just have recorded. That's also a little bit unfortunate, but the sound is the same as the picture. It will sound much better when you take it to the editing option. There you can adjust the sound, and it will directly sound much better also, just as you listen to the file as it is. Now we are gonna come to the cons, because there are some cons, and the first one is actually the most annoying one of them. Yes, the camera has removable batteries in the bottom here, and as you see, there is a lid you can open, and you can remove the battery and put a new battery in. And it also has access to the memory card here on the side. It's not like a GoPro that's where it's inside of the lid. It's out here, so you have easy access to your memory card. You can change them out. And this is the annoying bit, this battery cover, because if you want to mount this on a selfie stick, if you want to mount it on a tripod or something, you either need one of those or you need one of those. And when you use this one and put your camera in here like that, and you put your but you put your handle on or something here, you immediately notice that you can easily access your memory card here. That's no problem. You can easily access every button and everything and the screens, but what you can't access is the battery. The battery cover is covered, so there is no access. So every time you need to change your battery, you see it's almost time to change the battery there. This wasn't charged when I started this review. I need to take it off. I need to remove this just to get access to the battery hatch. And that's a very annoying feature that I don't like at all. It's much better on the GoPro because you fell the tabs down and you can mount your camera, and you can still open it, and you can change the memory card and the battery without dismounting anything from its holder or stand. That's much better. So that's a disadvantage with this, but if you can live with that, as I said, it's a good camera. And the battery life of these are also pretty good. You get about 50 to 60 minutes of filming time on one battery at 4K 30 frames. So if you go up to 5.3K or 5K, that will of course get a lot shorter. You maybe get 30-35 minutes. If you go up to 60 frames on 4K, I would guess you get like 45-50 minutes, something like that. But I don't use that. I use the 4K 30 frames, and that gives me about an hour of filming time. So I'm pretty pleased with that. If you have like 2-3 batteries, you get 2-3 hours. So that's good enough. Unfortunately, these don't come with a screen that you can change out. This is fixed here. It's not changeable. You can buy a screen protector that you can put on here, the clamps on this edge here, and gives the screen a protection. But originally, when they come out of the box, they look like this, and there is no screen protector. The only screen protection you have is that this edge here goes further out than the screen, the camera itself. So it actually gives some protection, and you can see on this camera there are some marks here on this edge, but there are no marks on the lens. So it has done a job of protecting this camera. So I'm pretty pleased with that also. Let's turn it off like that. So as I said, you also get some documentation, of course. You have an instruction manual here. It doesn't state so much, but there is a little bit you can read. There is also an online instruction manual. You can scan the QR code to get more information. Then we have one more thing. As I said, these have Bluetooth. No, I didn't say that, but I will say it now. They have Bluetooth. So they have Bluetooth connectivity. I don't know how to say it. But you can connect them with Bluetooth to things. And unfortunately, you can't connect them to your AirPods or headphones or anything like that. But you can connect them to external microphones and remote controls. But they need to be dedicated for this system. And you can buy these by the side. Special microphones, and also remote if you want that. These microphones have two functions. They are microphones, but they also have their remote function in them. So you can use them as remotes, or you can use them as microphones. They don't improve the sound quality. I would say it will make the sound quality stronger, but it will not improve it quality wise. It will actually make it worse, as I said. Best quality you get with a built-in microphone, but often you are a bit away from the camera, so the sound volume gets a little bit lower. These will have the same volume since you put them on yourself and have them at the same distance all the time. You will have a more even sound when you're speaking into the camera. So that's it. You get the manual, and you get this small manual for the wireless microphone. If you buy them in a set, you don't need to. You can buy them later also. I recommend to buy them in a set. That's an option, and I recommend that. If you buy one of these and you want the external microphone or you want the remote, buy them at the same time. It has shown to be the best working alternative for the system, to have them paired from the factory, or what you should call it. So I recommend that. Well, now we come to the most interesting thing, I believe, and that's comparison. We're gonna do some video compares with the GoPro, and I have chosen, due to this being not the newest model and so on, I have chosen to use the GoPro 12 that we are using right now to compare picture quality. I will not compare the stabilization. I will show you the stabilization on the camera, but I will not compare it to GoPro, because GoPro has one of the best stabilization systems among action cameras. That's proven, so it's not much to compare with. This is of course not as high-tech as the GoPro stabilization, but it is pretty high-tech. So let's go on to that. Well, there you saw it yourself. You can do your own conclusion. In my mind, this is still a good camera, and I would recommend this to anybody who wants a cheap, good 5K camera. This is a good alternative. Of course, we can't compare it to a GoPro or Ace or anything like that, but for what it is, it's a good camera. So, with that said, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.